Working with batteries involves inherent risks, including the potential for fire, explosion, chemical burns, electric shock, or toxic fume release. Lithium-ion, lead acid, and other rechargeable batteries can be particularly hazardous if mishandled, short-circuited, overcharged, punctured, or exposed to extreme temperatures. Use extreme caution.
This is the part 2 of my Unitree Pump repair video. I got some new batteries from eBay and I'm gonna put it back together and hopefully it works. These are the new batteries I got from eBay. They're the same model, but they are a little bit higher in capacity, 1100 milliamp hours versus the original 700 milliamp hours. I've connected them back the same way and laid it back out in the housing. You'll have to either spot weld them together with some nickel battery strips or carefully solder them with the nickel strips. But always use caution when working with heat and batteries. I didn't record the process, that's beyond the scope of this video. I'm just trying to get this Unitree pump to work. So this is how it's laid out. Next you put the cover back on with the 4 screws. One, two, three, 4 screws. Next is probably the most difficult part of the reassembly. It's the rollers that apply tension to the belt. So to put this back together, make sure the springs are oriented this way. Then you'll have to assemble these rollers and the holders. You're going to have to hold it together and slide them back onto the rod. Make sure they go in this orientation. There should be tension from the springs that push it towards the middle. When you put the other side in, you might have to force the opposite side over a bit so that it can catch the spring and also have tension that pushes it towards the center. If it's done properly, they should be squeezing the center, and it looks like this. To make it easier to assemble, I'm going to unwind the belt because the belt's going to come loose when you're trying to assemble it if it's still wound in the wheel. So just unwind the whole belt. After unwinding the belt, pass it through the exit opening. Now you have to hold the orange roller assembly together with your fingers, making sure that the squeezing arms don't fall out. Then slide the belt into it from underneath. Now pull through any slack and place it in the correct position. It should snap in place. And now install the metal bracket that secures it. Remember, this one uses a 000 Phillips. Tighten it evenly and pull the slack. Test the rope, make sure it can pass through smoothly. Now flip the motor assembly back over and make sure the tabs go back into the correct position. Make sure to take up any slack on the belt and make sure that it's not twisted in any way. If properly seated, it should be pretty much flush with the lower body of the entire assembly. You can try winding the belt back manually to make sure it's operating smoothly. Now install back the brackets that hold the assembly into place. Don't forget about this data connector here. Mine's almost got trapped. Finish up with the rest of the securing covers. And this is how it should look all around. As you can see, pretty much all the components are secured by these brackets and little screws. The top cover doesn't really do anything, so even if you leave it off, it would still function properly. So even with my cover broken, I don't think it took away from any structural rigidity. And I want to point out that there's actually locking tabs, so even if you remove the screws, you might have to give it a squeeze or a pry to loosen these tabs on the sides.
Here's a better look at where the tabs are located. It looks like you'll have to pry it outward to release it.
Mine actually has a problem with the power button. It's not very sensitive and my fingers are very dry. So let's plug it in and see if it charges. Looks like there's still a good charge on the new batteries and it's flashing that it's charging, so that's a good sign.
Mine actually has a problem with the power button. So to get it to turn on, I usually had to pull the whole rope out manually and it would trigger the turn on function. But since the cable is already fully pulled out from my assembly process, I'm gonna have to wind it up a little bit and then pull it out.
It doesn't matter which way you wind it. After I pull it all the way out again, I hear it beep and it's turned on. It senses that the rope is all the way out and it retracts the rope on its own. I'm gonna put the carabiner back on.
I probably should have did this before having the machine retract the cable. You could have pulled it all the way in again.
Put the cover back on. Now let's try the app. I'm gonna turn on with the rope pull again. And my app reconnects fine. I'm gonna try some of the tension. 4 pounds, give it a second, and that feels about 4 pounds. I go to 44 pounds and it does increase the tension properly. Back to 4 pounds, give it a second. And 4 pounds it is. App says the device is working properly. So it looks like the battery change worked. So if you have to change your battery, don't destroy it like I did. Just take off the screws and squeeze it or somehow release those tabs. You don't have to destroy it to fix it.